Hello again, fairy friends. This is the long-awaited, well, I don't know if anyone's been waiting, but it's been long promised, at least, pacifier video. Now, my very sweet friend and subscriber, Forest Elk Deer, had some questions about pacifiers and pacifier modification. She specifically mentioned the Gerber baby as being a candidate for a pacifier. So we have this little one here waiting to be a little model. And then we also have this smaller version, which is a newer version. This one is from 1989. They came out with this. And it's slightly a different, hopefully the light's on there right, slightly different sculpt. It doesn't have the googly eyes like this one has. And what was the year on this one? 1979, okay. And this one has a swivel, has a little, oh, no it doesn't. I lie. I tell a lie. I thought it had a swivel, but it doesn't. It just has a different type of a neck construction. Goodness. Here we have our Madame Alexander doll, which I did make some modified pacifiers for, and I believe this was the, when I did this video several months ago, this was the video and the doll that kind of sparked the interest in the pacifiers. So as you know, I have two of these little cuties with these two little cookie crunchers at the bottom, and I basically just used a regular pacifier. This is how it did look. This is one not modified in any way. And basically what I did was I didn't glue it. I promise you I didn't glue it. It just got on there really well. Cut it, and then I put the end over and all the way to the base of the pacifier. And because it's rubber, it really does grab onto it. You could use super glue or regular glue if you weren't comfortable with that staying, but honestly it does stay. And I like this option, keeping it like this, because this pacifier could be used for this doll, but then put it in there and you'll see how cute it is. And I just like how adding a pacifier can change the expression a little bit. And I like that these ones are plain because it goes with a lot of different outfits and kind of can go with any time era. But the reason I didn't glue this is because I might want to use these on another doll, and this might be, both of them together might be too thick, but I'd still have this option here. So I'm going to keep those as they are and show you that is one option, just cutting it and then putting that. You just cut once, just once. You want to do one cut, and that's all you need to do to separate that, and then put that there. But I'm going to keep these as is because I won't know until I decide what doll I want to put these with, how big they need to be, or how much I need to cut off. So I'll keep those. Okay, you see a little bit of a mess before you, and I wanted to show you these that I had gotten from Meyer, and they were having a sale. Where's the other one? Oh, here it is. They were having a sale. It was buy one and get one half off. So I went ahead and grabbed these because I do look frequently for clearance and sales on these, because I cannot rationalize buying these things at full price. And because these looked vintage and they were on sale, I went ahead and got them as a treat for myself and thought they'd go with a lot of the vintage dolls. But I am continually flabbergasted as to how high the pacifiers are. So that is what got me thinking around February that I'd like to come up with a way to make my own and also make some for the smaller dolls that the regular pacifiers won't fit. So at the time they had these heart-shaped foam pieces out, and they're all sorts of different shapes depending on what store you go to. I believe these came from Meyer, the craft section there. So I wanted to go over some of the materials that I picked up to create these. Well, actually, let me show you one of my efforts of the pacifier. And no, it isn't perfect, but it's made from foam and stickers and hot glue. And it does fit pretty well in this size of the Gerber baby. Alright, I found these stickers. And then these circles just reminded me of just the center part of the pacifier. So I got those. And then obviously you could get any stickers that you wanted. And I believe these are pony beads. You guys will recognize these. And these are just clear. I know they kind of look like they're glow in the dark, but they're not. And that is, here's one that I used sideways as a, the pacifier part. So that's what those are for. And these foam shapes, and there's all different kinds. These ones, like I said, were out at Valentine's, and they're a little bit thicker than this foam right here that I got. So if you can get the thicker sheets of foam, probably that would be your best bet. But I grabbed these because it had lots of pretty colors. Basically, I cut the shape out of this. Then I put one of these stickers over another piece of this to raise it up. And then I took a little white heart and put it right here. But you could do that with the pink ones. And that's what I'm going to show right now of how to do this. And then once you get the idea, then you can play with it. One here. Get this pink. And then I did make a little cardstock template that's just kind of like a bean shape, but you can make this shape to be how you want. If you want it to be a butterfly shape or whatever, I'm keeping it as simple as possible because what I have discovered here, and I'm cutting this in half, and then I'm cutting it again, so in quarters because you don't really need that much. What I'm discovering here with this foam is the more times you raise up to cut down, the more jagged it'll be. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So what I want to do is cut this together with the the double thickness. Put the cardstock here, and this is what I mean by not doing this a lot. Okay, I want to start it at the very edge of the scissors, the very back, and then I want to get as much cutting as I can out of one slice. If that makes sense. The more times I have to raise this up and cut back down, the more jagged the edges are on the outside. So you want it to be as smooth as possible. And even though you didn't see me doing anything jaggedy, it still is not perfect. So rather than fiddle with it now, I can even that up later. I'm going to show you the next step. Now, this is where if you're a kid, you need adult supervision, because this is where hot glue gun is coming in. And I do have a low temp glue gun, but the low temp doesn't work as well as my high temp glue gun. So what I'm going to do is get my big ugly hot glue gun here. This one is not my pretty one. And believe me, it is hot. So you want to be so careful and just do a little outside shape like that. And it does heat up the foam. And then as it's cooling, I can get that shape. So it's not flat. So I can get that pacifier curved shape. So it looks more like a molded piece of plastic and not a piece of foam. And I'm going to go ahead and trim around the edges of it. Now, to build up on it, I want to add a color, and I think I'll add purple. I'm going to add purple to it. And I can actually still use my scrap over here. And what I'm going to do is use my Elmer's Extreme, because this the sticker doesn't actually want to stick onto the foam. Now, it would work fine on paper, this sticker to paper, but the foam isn't. Now, if by chance you are not able to use a hot glue gun, they do make foam glue. And wherever you go to pick up your foam at the craft store, it will be right there by it. So, okay, now I'm going to glue that down. You just want to wait a couple of seconds and make sure that it's grabbed. And because this is extreme, it does grab pretty quickly. And now I'm going to cut around. And the reason that I'm doing this is I'm trying to add another dimension, because we do want this to look like a realistic pacifier, or I should say as real as possible. And if it's flat, it's just not going to look like a pacifier. It's going to look like a piece of construction paper that you've popped on your doll. Okay, so that builds it up. So maybe I should move this just a little bit closer. So that builds that layer up and makes a little bit more dimension. What I'm going to do now is take our trusty glue gun here, and I'm going to put one dot right there in the middle, and put that on there like so, and hold that in place. And because like I said, it is the hot glue gun. It's not the low temp glue gun. It is kind of helping to mold that a little bit. That is in place. And I think what I'll do is get a pink small heart out of here. Now, what I discovered about these is these will stick to the sticker part. At least that helps. At least we don't have to use the glue gun for everything. There. Okay, so there is our outside of our pacifier. Now, if the mouth is the right size and the right shape, then you can simply glue a pony bead on the back. If that's not going to work, then we can build up a pacifier with hot glue, and I'll show you that now, like I've made here. So we'll go ahead and do that, and I'll show you how I do that. And it's basically 2 stages. So I'm going to go right in the center, and I'm sorry, I'm still having nerve problems in my left hand, so if my thumb and forefinger are twitchy, that's because of that. So, and then I just let that sit, and we're going to build up on that. So we'll let that dry. Okay, this has dried, so I'm going to add another layer onto it with the glue gun. And if you need it to be pointier, if you wait just a minute and you turn it upside down like that, it will go out into a point. You just have to flip it back over real quick as soon as you see it getting a little too pointy. And then I'll let that dry, and then we'll see how, if that's big enough or not for the baby. Okay. Now, I went ahead and did the same thing that I did with this one, with this green foam here. And then I took one of the monkey faces, just the face, and then I put that on a piece of the foam so I could lift it up and make another dimension to make a monkey one. So I'm going to go ahead and put hot glue on the back of this. Okay, now these are the 4 that I came up with using the materials that I showed at the beginning, and all together I spent about $10, and that's not just to make these 4. I have tons of that foam left. There's several of the stickers left, so $10 can probably make, I wouldn't even know, I don't, 30 to 40 of these. That might actually be a low amount because you only actually need 1/2 of each of the colors of the foam. Anyway, I always look at things and see how much I spent as compared to how many I can make of the item, and as far as that goes, your investment, you can make tons of these. Now, as far as the integrity of the craft, now if I were to vote on this or give it a rating, I would probably give it a 6 out of 10. That might be a little bit high, but I'd give it 6 stars out of 10 because it's obviously lacking in some things, and it's never actually going to look like an actual pacifier. So that's not, again, when we started this, we knew that's not what we were going after. We were going for pacifiers that kids and teens can use, that are less expensive than the actual pacifiers, and then also to create smaller versions for our littler dolls. I think that'll about do it for this video. If anybody goes ahead and tries this craft, maybe stop back by and let me know how it goes and how you do. I'd appreciate that, and I hope everyone has a magical day. Bye-bye.